She screamed, "You're a worthless loser," during an argument in front of her friends. I said, "You know what? You're right." Then I quit being her loser. What her friends told her after I left the party. My girlfriend Jessica invited me to her friend group's summer party. I'd been dating her for 8 months, but she always made excuses about why I couldn't meet her friends. Too busy, wrong timing, they wouldn't get my humor. But finally, she said I could come to this big pool party at her friend Alicia's house. I showed up with drinks and chips like Jessica asked. The second I walked into the backyard, I could feel her friends sizing me up. Jessica introduced me to everyone, but something felt off about the way she said my name, like she was embarrassed. Her friend Morgan looked me up and down and said, "So you're the mystery boyfriend. Jessica talks about you all the time." But Jessica just laughed nervously and changed the subject real quick. The party was going fine until someone suggested we play volleyball in the pool. I'm not the most athletic guy, definitely not in great shape, but I figured why not have fun, right? We split into teams and started playing. I missed a few easy shots, stumbled getting out of the pool, basically looked like an idiot. Every time I messed up, I could see Jessica's face getting more annoyed. Her friends were being nice about it, laughing it off, but Jessica was silent. After the game, we were sitting by the pool and Morgan started telling this story about her boyfriend taking her on this expensive weekend trip. Then Alicia talked about how her guy surprised her with concert tickets. Jessica jumped in talking about all the romantic things she wished someone would do for her. I tried to joke and said, "Well, I took you to that burger place you liked last week." Her entire friend group went quiet. Jessica's face turned red and she snapped, "That was a $5 burger from a food truck. Morgan's boyfriend took her to Hawaii." I laughed thinking she was kidding, but she wasn't. She stood up and started listing everything I'd done wrong that day. How I embarrassed her during volleyball, how I showed up in regular clothes instead of swim trunks, how I brought cheap beer instead of the good stuff. Her friends were all staring at their phones or suddenly very interested in their drinks. Then Jessica said the thing that made everyone look up. "You know what? You're just a worthless loser. I don't even know why I brought you here." The whole backyard went dead silent. I could feel 8 pairs of eyes on me waiting to see what I'd do. I stood up, grabbed my keys from the table, and looked at Jessica. "You know what? You're right. I am a loser for thinking you actually cared about me." Then I just walked out. I didn't yell, didn't make a scene, just left. The whole drive home I felt like an idiot for even going. But here's where it gets interesting. About an hour after I left, I got a text from Morgan. Didn't know she even had my number. She said, "Hey, I got your number from Jessica's phone. Just wanted you to know what happened after you left." Turns out the second I walked out, her friends tore into Jessica. Morgan told her that was the cruelest thing she'd ever seen someone do to their boyfriend. Alicia said I seemed like a nice guy who was just trying to have fun. Even the other people at the party who barely knew me said Jessica was completely out of line. But the best part was what Morgan texted next. She said Jessica tried to defend herself by saying I was always disappointing her, that she deserved better than someone who couldn't afford nice dates or fancy gifts. That's when Morgan apparently lost it on her. She told Jessica that her own boyfriend wasn't rich. He just saved up for months for that Hawaii trip. That relationships aren't about money or looking perfect in front of friends. Then Alicia jumped in and said she'd been dating her boyfriend for 3 years when he was broke in college. That she stuck with him because she actually loved him, not because of what he could buy her. The entire group started sharing stories about times their boyfriends messed up or looked stupid, and how they laughed about it together instead of humiliating them. Morgan said Jessica got defensive and tried to leave, but they wouldn't let her. They told her she'd become shallow and mean, and that if she didn't fix her attitude, she'd end up alone. Jessica apparently started crying and tried calling me. I ignored it. She called 6 more times that night. I ignored all of them. The next morning, Jessica showed up at my apartment with flowers and this long apology, saying she was stressed about impressing her friends and took it out on me, that she didn't mean any of it. I told her through the door that she was right at the party. I was a loser for dating someone who'd tear me down in public, but I quit being her loser the second I walked out of that backyard. She stood outside crying for 20 minutes before finally leaving. Morgan texted me later saying Jessica's friends basically told her she deserved to get dumped, that I handled it with more class than she showed all day. 3 months later, I'm dating someone who actually likes me for me. Someone who laughs when I mess up instead of keeping score. And Jessica, from what I heard, she's still single and her friend group barely talks to her anymore.